Hi, Kevin McLaughlin here for part 2 of working with multiple cameras. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, you should really go and look at that first. In part 1, I talked about the history of TV versus film and how people use cameras differently in those two worlds, and how some people are doing it wrong as far as I'm concerned when they have multiple cameras. So we set up a situation where we're going to shoot the same scene two different ways. One where we think about how our two cameras work together, and the other one, the way a lot of people are doing it, where two cameras are just shooting the same thing all the time. So this is a scene from my feature film, The Crossing, which I hope to start shooting one of these days soon. This is a scene where the two main characters, Megan and Glenn, Megan is played by Emma Freed, Glenn is Caleb Salibi. They are just meeting for the first time after about 2 months. They're a couple who's been separated for about 2 months. Glenn is an architect. He works for Megan's father. And you also need to know that this is just the day after the funeral of Megan's grandmother. Let's edit. We shot it the right way first, where we paired the cameras in a smart way so that we could cut between those two cameras anytime. Here are our 6 camera setups. First, we have a very wide 2-shot on camera A and a single of Megan on camera B. Then we go to a closer 2-shot on A with, again, a single of Megan on B. Next, that same 2-shot on A with a dirty single of Megan. That's a single where we see a little bit of the other person. Next, Glenn in a single shot on camera A and an over-the-shoulder shot of Megan on camera B. After that, we have an over-the-shoulder of Glenn on camera A and a close-up of Megan on camera B. Finally, a dirty single of Glenn on camera A and a 2-shot of the pair on camera B. You can see that with any of these pairs, I can cut between the two cameras with no jump cuts. Also, note that we made use of that very wide shot as the first shot in both edited versions. To be clear, there's nothing wrong with shooting film style with a single camera. But if you have multiple cameras available to you, don't shoot with the single camera mindset. Think about how those cameras work together. Now we're going to look at an example of how it's not done, where we have multiple cameras, but we're not thinking in that multiple camera mindset. Shooting the traditional film style method, but with 2 cameras, I tried to imitate as much as possible the techniques I've seen the film world people use. Here are our camera setups. Our first setup was just 1 camera, because that's the way they generally do it when there's a 2-shot. So that's what we have here, just a 2-shot. Next we did 2 shots of Megan, a close-up on A and a medium on B. Then on A, a dirty single of Megan and an over-the-shoulder of Megan on B. Next, a medium of Glenn on camera A and a close-up of Glenn on camera B. Finally, on camera A, a dirty single of Glenn and an over-the-shoulder of Glenn on camera B. Note that with these camera pairs, in every case, if you cut between the two cameras, you would have a jump cut. So your only choice with this method is to cut together different takes that were not shot simultaneously. One thing I promised in part 1 was that we would time all these exercises and report on how long each one took. So we did it my way, the right way, first, and that took about 2 hours and 25 minutes. When we switched over and did it the wrong way, the way the film people do it, it only took about half as long. Why? Is that way faster? No. The reason it went faster is that A, the actors were much more rehearsed and they knew by then what I wanted. Also, our entire crew is volunteer beginner type people. So when we did that first one, they were really doing their first production ever. So after 2.5 hours of that, they were much better and they were faster when we did it the second time. So I would say if all things are equal, it would have taken about the same amount of time. If you watched part 1 of this program, you know I talked a lot about how a video switcher combines all the cameras into one signal that goes out to the viewer. Now is where we do the same kind of thing in the editing world. We take all our cameras and group them together. In Avid, we call it grouping clips. Other applications have different terms for things, different ways to get things together, but every real edit system can do this, where you combine cameras and audio together into one signal, and then you can treat it the same as the signal that comes out of the switcher. These M buttons, the function keys, are preset on the Avid to be those camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, and so forth. If you want more cameras than that, you can map them to any other function buttons. I have a network client that does a lot of music segments, and they use 6 cameras. I map them to these keys here, and it's just like it's on a switcher. It's beautiful. Once I have all my cameras grouped along with my audio into a single clip, just like that single source coming out of the switcher, I can lay that into my timeline and cut anywhere I want. Everything will match perfectly. You can even lay that whole thing in and then play it down and switch it in real time, just as if it were in a switcher. That's what I'm doing here. I'm letting this play, and I'm just cutting using those function 9 and 10 keys to choose between multi-camera 1 and multi-camera 2. I'm just switching them randomly. You'll see when I play it back that they'll always be in sync. I'm going to stop and play that back, and you'll see in the timeline there that there are multiple cuts. My drives on my computer are not fast enough to play them live, but if they were, I mean, if you have a good fast computer, you can do that all live and see it as it happens. But as is, I'm going to play this back, and you can see that it cuts all those places where I push those buttons. It's cut to the other camera, and it's always in sync. Let's look at some key parts of this scene in both versions and see how these techniques make life easier or harder for the editor. You'll see here in this scene, if we play through, how both cameras show this little interaction where the waitress surprises her with a drink. And no matter how I play that, no matter how I scroll through it, her reaction to the waitress, the hands, they're all in the right place. Anywhere I go, I can make an edit, and the sync is perfect. Now later on in the scene, there's a point where Megan interrupts Glenn. When we have the two cameras working together properly, that's an easy edit, and we cut right to her on her line. If you have both cameras on the same person and you shoot a scene like that, you run into trouble. You have a brain teaser, and it's not impossible, but it's very difficult. And in this case, I really couldn't make it work. I had to just stay on the two shot of them through that little sequence. So you'll notice that as you watch these two scenes, how one, I believe, works a lot better. In the end, the scene we shot the right way took me 2 hours to put together a basic edit. The other version took 3 hours. Now, that 1 hour difference may not seem like a lot, but if you expand that out to a feature film, that's the difference between a 4-week edit and a 6-week edit. So it's a substantial savings. If you do it the right way, you're going to save time, you're going to save money, and most importantly, in the end, you get a better result. A smoother, more fluid, more realistic scene. So watch these two versions. At the end, there's contact info for me. I'm available. You can reach out to me for assignments as a writer, director, editor, or teacher. And there's also contact info for Set to Go. They can help you with all kinds of production needs. I want to thank everybody who helped put this production together, and thank you for watching. Now, here's our two scenes.
Hey, Megan.
Hey, Glenn. Oh,
Everything go okay at home last night?
it was weird. We've been so caught up with the wake and the funeral that I haven't really had time to process it. But last night it started to sink in. The house was really quiet and it felt empty. Every time I walk by Nana's room, I cry.
Yeah. It's hard. But it's gonna get better.
Can't imagine it will ever be normal again.
It's gonna take some time. I ordered for you. I hope that's okay.
Sure. Thanks.
So, what do you think? Are you interested in having a boyfriend again? Even if he is unemployed?
What are you talking about?
Oh, I thought you knew.
Knew what?
The city center job, we didn't get it. Your dad's probably gonna lose his business.
Are you serious? Oh my God. My dad works so hard. Could this week get any worse? That firm is everything to him. This is gonna kill him.
No, it's not. And he's a tough old cookie. No one's gonna break him. You'll have a job within a month.
What about you?
Well, I'm thinking about starting my own shop. Now I'm free to share my work on the city center proposal, and your dad says it's gonna blow people away. So, us. What are you thinking?
I've missed you like crazy, but it's also been a good time to just be myself. It's nice to be just Megan instead of Glenn and Megan.
Well, I'd gladly give you first billing.
Megan and Glenn, Glenn and Megan, makes no difference. It's just a little limiting to always be cemented to someone else.
Well, I wouldn't call it cement. It's more like crazy glue. 'Cause I'm crazy about you.
Yeah, I know.
Can we just go back to normal?
I don't know.
Come on. We are so good together.
Yeah, I know. I just need more time. I want to keep to myself a while longer.
How much longer?
I don't know.
A month? A year?
I don't know. Can't we just be friends for now? Stop arguing about all this stupid stuff.
Well, if that's the best I can get, I'll take it. But you know I want more than a friend, right?
I know. It's been a hard time and I need some alone time.
Oh, alone time's overrated. I've learned that the last 2 months.
It grows on you.
Hey, Megan.
Hey, Glenn.
Oh,
Everything go okay at home last night?
it was weird. We've been so wrapped up with the wake and the funeral that I haven't really had time to process it. But last night it started to sink in. The house was really quiet and it felt empty. Every time I walk by Nana's room, I cry.
Yeah. It's hard, but it will get better.
I can't imagine it will ever be normal again.
It's gonna take some time. I ordered for you. I hope that's okay.
Sure. Thanks.
So, what do you think? Are you interested in having a boyfriend again? Even if he is unemployed?
What are you talking about?
Oh, I thought you knew.
Knew what?
The city center job. We didn't get it. Your dad's probably gonna lose his business.
Are you serious? God, my dad worked so hard. Could this week get any worse? That firm is everything to him. This is gonna kill him.
No, it's not. He's a tough old cookie. No one's gonna break him. You have a job within a month.
What about you?
Well, I'm thinking about starting my own shop. Now I'm free to share my work on the city center proposal, and your dad says it's gonna blow people away. So,
So,
us. What are you thinking?
I've missed you like crazy. But it's also been a good time for me to just be myself. It's nice to just be Megan instead of Glenn and Megan.
Well, I'd gladly give you first billing.
Megan and Glenn, Glenn and Megan. Makes no difference. It's just a little limiting to be always cemented to someone else.
Well, I wouldn't call it cement. It's more like crazy glue. You know, because I'm crazy about you.
Yeah, I know.
So can we go back to normal?
I don't know.
Come on. We are so good together.
Yeah, I know. I just need more time. I want to keep to myself a while longer.
How much longer?
I don't know.
Like a month? A year?
I don't know! Can't we just be friends for now? Stop arguing about all this stupid stuff.
If that's the best I can get, I'll take it. But you know I want more than a friend.
I know. It's been a hard time lately, and I need some alone time.
Well, alone time is overrated. I've learned that the past 2 months.
It grows on you.